All right. So today's agenda will be we will try to download all the needed softwares for us to get started. So the reference point for us will be the document that I have shared last week. So the top section you could see here we have list of all the softwares starting from Power BI Desktop, which is actually needed for you to do all the development in terms of preparing the data for the visuals, adding the relationships, and then adding the measures needed along with visualizing the data. So we have two options here for downloading the Power BI desktop, which is the Microsoft Store, and then also from the website. So we can again come back to that and then follow step by step to see how we can download that. Supporting to the Power BI desktop, we have a bunch of helpful external applications. So one is the DAX Studio, which helps to analyze the model if it is very efficient, and then if you're able to give users the fast running reports. The tabular model gives the flexibility to work on the report easily. Again, we can get hands-on experience on that when we'll be working on the different reports. Then we have the ALM Toolkit. So ALM Toolkit will help you more of like a version controlling, which gives the capability of comparing between the two Power BI reports. So let's say you did all the development work on one of the report, and then again you had to start another report, and then you want to move some of the calculations from one report to the other. Then ALM Toolkit will be helpful for you. Okay. So apart from that, when we work on Power BI, the key thing for us is to get a good understanding of DAX. So the DAX is the programming language that is being used in Power BI. So I have provided some of the reference link here. The first one is the dax.guide.com. So when you search for any specific functions, so it will be similar to the mathematical functions or any of the functions what you will be seeing in Excel. You'll be able to type those functions and then get a description of those functions and then how the syntax you have to use when writing any of the measures. So we can start with very basic measures, the basic functions, and then we can move from there. And the DAX Playground is, let's say you want to quickly test any of the measures. Then what you could do is you can open DAX Playground, which is like a web-based application, and then you can quickly try to get understanding of the function before you use it in your actual scenario. So you don't have to have a data set available. You don't have to have like a complete understanding of your model. So you can go there, take a function, and then see how you can effectively use it. Okay, so the first section is the softwares what we will be targeting. The second is like the places where we can understand DAX, and then the third one is the sample data set. So in the sample data set, we have like a free model provided by Microsoft as a OData feed. So we can try to completely import the model as Power BI follows the compression method. So you don't have to worry about fully loading the model. So it will be completely fine for you. And then after that, we have all the steps that we can follow to have like our first report created. Sounds good? Any questions before we deep dive into this? All right. So let me first start with the first step here. That is to get the Power BI desktop. So as you see at the bottom here, I already have the Power BI desktop downloaded. But if I have to download it from the store, then I'll be going to the Microsoft Store. Here, I have to just search for Microsoft Desktop. So let me cancel that. So Power BI Desktop. So you could see the application here. Yep. You could see the application is currently installed here. Otherwise, you can click on get, and then if there is any update available, then you can also look for the update. So the good thing with using the Power BI desktop from the store is you don't have to worry about doing the software update on a monthly basis, because with the current pattern, Microsoft try to give new features every starting of the month. So whenever you get a new update, if you're downloading it from a website, then what you would have to do is you have to go to the website, download the new installation files, and then again install it. So good thing with the Microsoft Store is you'll be able to do it. So if you're not able to do from Microsoft Store, because of any reason, what you could do is you can use the alternative link here and then download the Power BI desktop. Okay, so the second one is the DAX Studio. Then again, I provided the link here so we can quickly go on this link. So let me open a Chrome window here. All right, so we have this DAX Studio installer here. So I'm clicking on downloading the installation file. And I'll just follow. So this is the Excel add-in. If anytime if we need to analyze the Excel based model, but overall it's a very simple and straightforward installation here. So it has directly opened the application, but we can come back when we'll be working on it. But on the whole, this is the interface for DAX Studio, but we'll again come back to this and then get a better understanding of what all features you will be using on a regular basis, whether it could only connect to Power BI or whether it can connect to Power BI service, or what all different features we'll be able to utilize from Power BI desktop. But overall, this will be a very helpful tool in your Power BI journey. Next, again, going back to the document here, the third is the Tabular Editor. As I mentioned, it will give you the flexibility to work smoothly on a complex projects. So I can click on the download here, and then you could see the MSI, the first installation file here. So I can click on it, and again, it will give me the installation file, and I can follow the instructions here. So I agree, and then creating the desktop shortcuts if needed, and then clicking next, and then completing the installation for this. All right, so this should be done. And again, going back here, so the last tool which is needed for us is the Alm Toolkit. So we can come back again to the browser here, search for it, download now, download latest version. And this is done. Again, I follow the same thing, click on the installation file, say I agree, and we complete the installation for this as well.
Mahmoud, do we need to follow your instructions to download everything?
Yeah, so this is like a pretty straightforward installation, but we have folks from non-IT background as well. So that's the reason I had to show the steps as well. So they would be able, they'll be comfortable downloading those softwares.
Thank you, Mahmoud Bhai. In fact, that was my question. Plus, one more question I had was, would this recording be available for us so that way, once we are done with the class, we can follow the steps, and if needed, we can go back with revisit the recording and again, do all the necessary downloads that we have to do to create our account and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I started our session with recording it. So once our class is done, I'll try to upload it on YouTube.
Jazakallah bhai.
Yeah, Jazakallah. All right. So we completed this, the installations, and again, you can refer back to this video later. Then we have the websites, what we refer for the DAX functions. So let's start with the dax.guide. Yep. So this is the interface of dax.guide. So this is a very helpful website for you to get an understanding of all the functions. So to the left, you could see it's listing out all the functions. But trust me, we only will be using around like 10 to 15 functions repeatedly. So if you get a good understanding of those functions, then you'll be good. So this will be more of an extension or like a one-time request from a client, or like you're working on a complex requirement and you have to use some extensive functions. But you could see there's like a different ways you can categorize this. The first one is like sorting it by A to Z. The second one is more of like a groups here. So you could see the functions, we have data types, we have operators, and then we have statements. So we could see when we expand the functions, so again, it has like a subcategory here. So the functions which are related to the aggregation, date and time function, filter function, financial information, and then related everything here. So you could see if I just expand the time intelligence function, so yeah, I'll be able to find all those as well. But if I just focus on the simple one here, which will be the aggregation, then you could see here it's related to the counting, distinct count. Then if I have to do a sum, so we can keep it very simple and then just focus on sum. Okay, so this is one of the way of navigating. Or what we could do is we have the third option here. So we have the search, and then let's say if we directly search for sum, so you see it's giving all the functions here which are related to sum, and we can click on this first one, which gives us the sum function here. So let me quickly, okay, yeah, this is not important, I think. Yeah, so on this interface, you could see to the complete right center, we have all the different compatibility. So this DAX functions can be either used with Power BI or used within the Excel, because we create the pivot models, or we can create the use within the tabular models as well, or within the Azure analysis services. So this is saying that the sum function is compatible with this different platform. So once you know these functions, you'll be able to work on this different platforms easily. Okay, so yeah, so the syntax of this, you could see it's just saying sum, and then it's saying to provide the column name. So let's say if you have the sales column in your table, then you will be providing that as well. So if I scroll down at the bottom here, so you could see we have the sum function, which is referencing the table name along with the column name. So it will aggregate the that particular column which you're providing, and then it will give you that consolidated number or the aggregated number there. So let's say if you have like 100,000 rows or 1 million rows or 10 million rows, it doesn't matter. So it will just aggregate that complete column for you and then give that number. We have other details as well on this one, which we can come back later. But one helpful thing that you could see here at the bottom, it's trying to give you an example and then giving you the capability of trying it by yourself. So if I give you a high level understanding here by not completely going a deep dive, so you could see it has like a sum, and then it's trying to do the sales quantity here, and then it's trying to store that in a measure, and then trying to output here that quantity in one. So once you have this, it will generate an output for you in this specific format. But for now, you could see this is pointing you to dax.do, which is which was the next step in your document here, the reference document. So if I click here, this is taking me to dax.do, and then it's carrying forward the example instance which we have. This is also a helpful video. When you go onto this website, He'll explain you how you can use this interface, and then where you'll be able to find different objects or attributes that you can use. But yeah, otherwise you could see here, we have a syntax, so you guys will get comfortable when you'll be like more working on it. But for general understanding, you could see here at the top we have run options, so different undo, redo options, copy and all, and then to the right we have different database objects names here. So here it's referencing sales quantity. That means the sales is the table name here. So which we could see here, we have this table name, which will have number of columns. And then we have the quantity tab here. So you could see here, quantity. So we would have the quantity column here. So we are directly referencing that. This will be more visible when we'll be working on Power BI. But when you will work on Power BI, and then when you come back again to this DAX.do, you will be more comfortable working on it. So two functions that you will have to understand to work on this DAX.do is like how to use the evaluate function, how to use the define function, and then how to use the table-based functions. But again, this is not overwhelming or anything. So we'll be again coming back to this. But for now, this is, I'm saying like these are all the different reference areas that you will be using during your Power BI learning journey. So any questions as we are on this DAX reference pages? Yeah, if not, let's move on to the next section.
Mahmood bhai, you would be walking us through this during the training, right?
Yeah, for now, so as we have like people who are on a fast track and a slow track, so now we are introducing for both members. So the current target is to give a like very high level overview of what all we'll be covering. So if someone is able to like go ahead and then work on this dax.do or like follow the DAX guide, then it will be really helpful for them. They'll be able to quickly catch with the different functions we have and then how to use those functions. But we'll be going step by step, and then we'll be again coming back to this. Yeah. All right. So the next one is how we can prepare our first model before we start doing the development. But before coming to importing this data into a Power BI report, I want to show you how data flows within an organization where it gets its source data, and then where will be the different staging places, and then how the data again will be used for doing the reporting purposes. So I have a quick slide here from my last classes. So let me do a quick slideshow here from beginning. So yeah, so you could see here, I'm using one of the example scenarios here. So let's say this is like XYZ company. And when they are working on a daily basis, they are relying on multiple applications here. So Yardi could be their front-end application where the clients interact or the users interact. So this could be same as if you're taking example of Amazon.com, so we do a lot of shopping on Amazon.com, and then the different vendors, they try to upload the product details. So for now, we are seeing that on the Amazon.com website, we have two different user bases who are generating different user information, and then users also can give feedback, and then also the star rating, which will be visible for the other users as well. So that is like a one source of data. Then again, it could be the Excel based data, we could say, where we could get the data either from like finance working on the data by combining different data sets and all. And then third, it could be when they are gathering all this data, they are keeping it in a specific database. Either it could be the SQL server, or either it could be MySQL and all. And then finally, it could be the text-based data. It could be coming from any place. It could be the IoT devices and all. But I'm saying for a one given company, there could be multiple data sources, and then the goal for a company or the BI reporting team would be to consolidate the data, and then do the reporting. Yeah. So based on this data, what we do is we try to create a data warehouse. So data warehouse, what we do is we take the relational data, which will be more transactional data. It will be normalized to putting together everything into a dimension model. We will have the facts, and then we will have dimensions, and then we will have the relationships. For now, you could have like a very high level understanding that we have the different data sources, we are collecting the data, and then we are putting it into a warehouse. So this is the same as any the warehouse would do. So they will collect all their inventory and then store it into a warehouse. And then on top of your warehouse, so we will be creating the tabular models. So that the advantage of creating the tabular models is you will have the engine within the tabular model will be very high performing. So let's say you're working for a company like Apple, where your user base is around like 20,000 or so, and then you want to give the high performing report, then tabular model will come in picture. It will be like a semantic model between your data warehouse and then the front end reporting. So so this is again, it could be like an on-premises solution or cloud solution. So for right now, I picked this one as like an on-premises solution to give an understanding of. Let me clear the screen here. Sorry, guys. All right. So once we create this the tabular model or prepare the data, then we create the report and then publish it to the Power BI service. So we will have two different terminologies here. So if you're working to build a report, then we use the term as Power BI desktop. But when we are trying to publish that report for other users to consume it or broader audience to use the report, then we refer that term as Power BI service. The way we use name server for the other reporting tool, here we use it Power BI service. So this is like a web-based interface. So is it clear on a high level how we get this data, how the data preparation is done on the back end, and then how it's being used for the Power BI? So our focus for now will be just on the Power BI side. But once you guys are comfortable on the Power BI, I'll be covering the terminology for the backend, where we use the SQL, where we use the Azure Data Factory, and then that will be helpful for you to communicate the overall process, but just not stick onto the Power BI side saying that I have worked on Power BI, but you'll be able to explain the complete picture that we have this data sources, we have the data warehouse, and then we have the data flow process. And then from data warehouse, you'll be able to connect to Power BI for building the report. So the users can directly come to the data warehouse for building the reports, or to have like a fast performing reports, they can connect to the tabular models. So is it clear? Any question, guys, before I move on to Power BI desktop? Right, so let me quickly see here. Yeah, I think we have the other slides which we can try to cover in the later sessions.
Brother Mahmood, one more question I had was, now we have those two tracks, right? Fast track and slow track.
Yeah.
So can you give some sort of like a time reference? Sorry if I missed it in the beginning, if you already mentioned it.
So time reference in the sense how quick we are targeting to complete.
Yes.
Okay. So if I go back to the Excel here, so I think I have it here. Let me quickly open. So I have desktop training document. Okay. So we are targeting two different things here. So one is column number D. So where it is target time to get a job. And then column number E here is slow or fast track. And then column number F, how much time they are able to dedicate in a day. So combining this three column, we'll be able to get a better understanding how quick they'll be able to adapt. And then from there, we can directly jump onto the marketing sessions.
Okay. No, just like a curiosity question that was for me, it was more like, when you on the fast track, how much time do you think it'll take for us to, reach that point where we are very comfortable and we should be ready for marketing? And how much time does it take for on a slow track based upon your training?
I would say it depends on how quickly you are able to grab the concepts, because for me, I'm not targeting to take things step by step. I'm trying to give a very holistic picture, and then give a direction of how you can utilize the different resources in your free time. So it will be combination of two things here: how you're able to grasp the training sessions, and then how you're able to spend offline time understanding those concepts. Because
Okay.
when you're able to use the terminology, whatever we are using here, the way I differentiated between the Power BI desktop and Power BI service, saying that the Power BI desktop, it's you create the reports, and Power BI service is where you publish the reports so that the broader audience use it. So if you're able to explain this, then you are prepared to enter into the market. Because as you join in a company, and then as you start working with them, so you will learn more about Power BI desktop. But the key thing for you is communicate those terminology.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Yep. Any other question, guys? All right. So I'm opening the Power BI desktop here, and then if you guys want to follow simultaneously for importing the data model, it will be helpful for you. But yeah. So if I come back here, you could see we completed the software installation. We got a very high level understanding of the resources for DAX and how we can use it. And then next is the sample data place, the place where we can get a sample data set. So I have the Power BI desktop open. So for this, you don't have to do any sign up. So what you basically have to do is you click on cancel here at the top right. So you could see cancel here, and then it will go away. Sometimes it will give the prompt for a sign in, but again, you can cancel it, and then it won't prompt for you to do any signups. Okay. So before connecting to the O data, so first I want to give a very high level understanding of the different functionalities what we have. So I want to start from left here. So to the left, I have the report view, which I mentioned here. So if I scroll down, okay. So you could see the Power BI interface, we have the report view. So within the report view, you will have a blank canvas here. At the bottom, you will be working on creating different pages. So this is similar to Excel. So I can click on plus icon here, which will add a new page. And then if I again come back on page one, if I right click on this, I have different options, whether if I want to duplicate the page, rename the page, delete the page, or hide the page. So based on the request or requirement, you can try to use any of the one here. So, but this is the blank canvas here where you can add the visuals and all. And then Power BI added one good thing here, like a quick starter. So you could see here for building the report, it's saying to add like a quick data here. So it's saying import from the Excel, import from SQL Server, paste data into a blank table, try data set or other sources, we can come back and then use this interface as well. But to the right, we have three panes here. One is the filter pane, where we can add the filters. So let's say if you're working on sales data, but company only want to target the Q1 sales, the quarter one sales, then you can apply a filter for them so that they don't have to worry about whether the data is for the complete year or whether it is only for one quarter. And then second pane is the visualization pane, where you will be able to see we have different visuals here, whether it's the donor chart you could see here, or any of the related line charts, bar charts, or stack chart, and then anything related to the geographical data, anything related to showing as cards. So you can have the card here, multiple row card, and then you have the KPI card here. And then if anyone like have a background of Python or R, then they can build their own visuals. And then we have the slicer visual, and then the simple table visual, and then the metrics visual. So this too will be similar to how we work on Excel. Yeah, so this is the visualization pane. Any visual which we work on will have values that we add here so that the visual gets created, and then we will have the formatting options for that specific thing. So right now, as I don't have anything and I'm clicking on this blank canvas, so the blank canvas will have its own option. So you could see here, I'll be able to add the page name directly from here. I'll say this is the home page. Then you could see it gets renamed here as well at the bottom left. And then I have the page size here. If I'm good with this basic size, then I can go with it. Or if I want to expand and then change the size, then I can have like a custom size here. So let's say I want to have like a big page here, then I'll say 2400 by 1140. So this will give me like a big page here, which will give me the area for more visuals. And if you want, you can change the page background as well here. So I could say I want to go with like a more grayish color here, and then I'm reducing the transparency. So you could see we have changed the background, and then if you want to make it more colorful, we can do that as well. Apart from that, we can also add an image. So let's say if you have like a good logo or good background from your company, or if you want to add any of the images, then we have the capability of that as well. So let me quickly check here if I have anything from my classes last time. Large icon. Okay, so you could see I have one here. Yep, you could see I'm able to add it at the background here. And then on top of it, I'll be able to build the visuals. And then I have the page alignment, and then I have the wallpaper as well. So one of the areas is like we have wallpaper, and one is the page background. So let me for now remove the image from the page background and then add it to the wallpaper so you guys can see the difference. So let me first collapse the field pane here. So let me come to the page background and clear this so I don't have anything, and let's make it grayish and increase the transparency to 50% here. And then I come here in the wallpapers and then say add image, and then choose this image here. And then I say fit. So you could see here, we'll have the page size. We have the page background that is different. So you see this dotted line here, it only covers till there, but the wallpaper will be the complete background, which covers everything behind. So I can have like a thin layering in front. So I can choose a different color here. So you could see we have this thin layering here, and then a different background. Okay, yeah, you can play around and then uh, get more understanding of that. And then we have this filter pane settings. So you see here we have this filter pane. So when you add the different fields and all, so we'll be able to work on this filter pane, which we can again come back to this. Yeah, again filter cards we can work. Yeah, and the next is the field pane. So once we load the data, you'll be able to see the list of all the tables that you have in the model, list of all the columns, and then the measures what you'll be adding. All right, any questions on this? The report view pane? All right, so let's follow this instructions here. So let me see. I got one chat. Control H. I'm not able to see the chat. So if you guys have any questions, then you can unmute yourself and ask those questions.
No, we are good. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right. So one of the places where we can see all the connectors, what we have in Power BI is the get data that we have in this top ribbon. So top ribbon is similar to any of the Office 365 applications, whether you work on Word, whether you work on PowerPoint, or whether you work on Excel. We have the different options, but the functionalities here will be more specific to Power BI. So on this home tab, so I think I collapsed this one. So let me expand this. So you could see here at the right here, either you can only see the icons in a collapse pane or this big icons here. Okay. So the default will be this big pane here. So in this one, we have this get data. So these are the different connectors. So let's say if you have your data in Excel, you can click on this and then get it. Or for now, we have the data in OData. So we can click on there. And then if we have this more option, which will give you the complete list of all the connectors from where we can get the data. You could see we have the folder option, we have like a SharePoint option, we have MySQL, we have Oracle, and then here to the left, you could see we have different categories. So if you want to get something from Azure, so we have all Azure-based services. If you have something in a database, so we have everything categorized into a database. If you have anything in file, so we have file-based, we have Power Platform-based, and then we have others. But apart from this, we can also create our own connectors as well. So it will be like a next level. But for now, we can keep it simple and then use the connectors what's provided by Microsoft. So yeah, this is one of the ways you could do it. So we what we do here, we click on the get data. We click on OData feed, and we have to provide the URL here. So we just paste the URL. I think I have to again go back and then copy. Yeah, so let me copy this link here. Okay. So I can paste here and then click on OK. So this is one of the ways, but I can also follow this prompt which I'm getting. So I can say get data from another source, which will again take me to the same prompt which we were getting. So you could see here, again, we have it. And then we can search for OData. So we have the OData feed. We click on connect, and then we paste the link here, and then we click on OK. Okay, so we are connected to the server here, and then it listed out all the tables that are available, whether it could be data related to numerics or sales or anything, or related to dimensions. So if you got a client request, and then if you have to build the report, you pick only the tables which you will be using for doing the reporting, but not the list of all the tables. But now, as we'll be working to create a sample reports, I'll recommend that we select all the tables here, and then we click on load. So let me quickly select everything here. And let me say load. We have the second option where if you want to make any data changes, but for now, we are keeping it simple, and then we are saying that our data is ready for doing the reporting, and then we are loading the data. You could see here for every table, it's giving the information. So you have customers. So once it downloaded, so it gave the row. So now you see this become more relevant of what we discussed. So we have the fields pane here, and then fields pane have different tables. So if I pick customer table here, so I'm expanding this, you'll be able to see we have customer related information. So if you're the owner of the company, and then if you want to analyze the data, so by what a specific country is giving me more sales, or what specific region is giving me more sales, so we'll be able to analyze that. So, but we'll come back to this once we better understand about the data view and then the model view. So we completed the report view, which will have the canvas and then capability of adding the report pages. Then we covered the filter pane where we add the filters, whether we add it on the, like a page level, or whether we add it that would apply for all the pages. And then we have the visualization pane. Each visual what we select will have its own formatting options. If we click on a blank canvas, then this formatting options apply to this report settings. And then we have the fields pane, where we have list of all the tables, list of all the columns, and list of all the measures we create. So yeah, that's the overview. And then top we have general navigation, which is similar to Office 365. Once we start working on it, we'll get more comfortable with it. And then second, we have the data view. So let's say you started building the report, you downloaded the data in your Power BI report, and then before building the report, you want to first analyze the data. So you could see here, if I go to the invoices table here, or like let's say if I want to go to the customers table here. So the first report, what you'll be targeting will be only uh, country, which will be based on, let's say, Canada. Then you can quickly filter here and then see how many customers we have from Canada. So when we will be doing the reporting, it will be just based on those 3 reports here. So you could see here at the bottom, it's able to give me the quick information what we have. It's saying we have 91 rows in this table, but we filtered the 3 rows here. And then the column which we have currently highlighted, it's saying it has 26 distinct value, and we have filtered one of the distinct value. And this information will change if I click on the customer ID, as customer ID is the primary key. The table information and then the filter based information will be the same, as that's the primary key. You could see 91 rows in the table, 91 distinct value, 3 filtered rows, and then 3 filter. We could try to we can see if the contact name has any duplicates, but you could see there are no duplicates in that one as well. 91 to 91, 3 to 3 here, and then we have the address. So either we could do the reporting and then see the data based on this as well, or we can clear here or combine. So let's say if you want to combine Canada, and if you want to combine Mexico, then you can do that as well. So you'll be able to see this list here. And then you could see the contact title here is the combination of this owner and the other details. Okay, so yeah, this is how you could use it. And then now if I come to this invoices here, so you could see we have the related invoices information. So you could quickly filter it for one specific city, and then we'll be able to see how the data is looking for that specific thing. So if you have any updates that you want to do, then you can do it. We can try to cover in detail later. And then we have the relationship views here. So I can upgrade this. So the relationships here are how the tables are related between each other, and then how we have the relationship. So I can click on this plus icon here, which will give me the new layout. And then let's say if I'm just focusing on the invoices, so I'm dragging the invoices table here, and then I click here on the 3 dots, and then the first option what I see is the add related tables. I can click on this and then only get a simple view of my model. I can arrange this better. So I can keep this at the top, and then I have invoices, and I have orders, and I have a product sales for 1997. You could see we have different relationships here that we can try to cover later, but on a high level, we'll filter the data from customers, which we were discussing. So from customers, we try to get how many orders they have, and then how many invoices they have. And then based on the products, again, we do the same thing, how many orders, how many invoices. Yeah, this is the relationship view. We have other functionalities as well, but for now, you only need to understand that it gives an understanding of the different tables we have in the model, and then what's the relationship between those models, and then what's the filter direction for that as well. And then we can create the subsets of like a very simple view here. So let's say if I come here to this new layout, and then I want to see how many tables we have with relationship to the customers table. So I have the customer table here, and I click here and then add related table. So you'll be able to see these are all the different tables that are connected to the customer tables. Okay, so we have this, we can have this, so we can now go ahead and then say file, save, and then save on the desktop here for now for me. Sample model, and should be good. All right, this is done. Before we move on to the visualization, for building the visuals, let's try to use the data that we generated last week, which is the information which we consolidated everything together. So that will be the details Excel, what we created. So let's say now we got a requirement to give the head count of how many members we have on the fast track, and then how many members we have on the fast track. And then let's say if we also got a requirement to give a head count of how many people are from IT versus non-IT. So yeah, let's analyze this data now in Excel. So the steps I will be following is I'll be clicking on a new file. So I'll be saying file, new, and then this data is also available in our WhatsApp group. So if you guys want to download and then play with that data, it will be helpful for you. And as I mentioned, so if you have data which you can relate, it would help you a lot in terms of understanding the tool better. So if I click on the Excel, so yeah, at the top window, you could see we have the Excel here, then we have the training, and then we have documents, and then we have the detail tab here. So I'm clicking here, and then Power BI will be able to connect to that Excel and then pick all the columns and then that specific sheet as well. So you could see here, it picked everything. I can quickly see that data. And then I'll be clicking on load for now, but we'll be going on the transform data option later in the class. So for now, I'm clicking on load. So it loaded the data for me. Let me begin with the relationship view here to show you how many tables are we able to see. You see, we are only seeing one table here. So this is the new view, what we got. So it has named itself as sheet one, but you could see here we have the property pane. We can rename here as training details. Okay, so you could see it has rename. And then same thing you can follow for any of the specific columns as well. So you could see we have names, so you can have notes and all. If you want to bring in any of the one columns, then you can do it. And the next is I can come on the data view and then again do the same thing. So here I could say, give me a member, show me the list of members with the IT background. then I'll be able to see the members here. So let's say if I want to see the members with a fast track, then I can filter that as well. The same functionalities, you'll also be able to do it here, but I'm saying this when you have a larger data set, the way we have seen it for the Northwind data set. Okay, so now if we come here on the visualization pane, so let's say if you're starting with just the simple table visual here, so we are saying we have the member name. So next we have the uh, slow track, fast track, and we have uh, the current background. Okay. So this is the table-based information, which is not giving me a lot of information. But let's understand how many people we have in our that Excel document. So what I could do is I can select a card visual and then select the name here. So it has added here. Otherwise, what I could do is I can drag and drop the name field here in the fields, and then you see a icon for the drop down. I'll have a different ways to see this data. If I want to do a distinct count or count, we want to see the distinct list of the members we have. So I can click on distinct count. So you could see we have 9 members in the class. So instead of seeing the data, we are now seeing the information here. So now let's say if you want to build a chart, so then let's say I click on this donor chart here, and I come here again and then pick the name here and then drag it into the values, and then again do the same thing here. I want to have like a distinct count. Then you could see it's returning me 9 here, but I want to see based on the background. Then I drag the current background and then add it to the legend here. So you'll be able to see the complete breakdown here. So how many members we have from IT? So we have 4 from IT, and then we have 2 from non-IT, 2 from non-IT science, and then 1 is blank, which is a data related issue. And again, we could see how we can improve it. And let's say for other visualizations, if you want to have like a bar chart, then you can select a stacked column bar chart, and you can again do the same thing. You can drag and drop the names here, do a distinct count again. And this time you want to see how many are fast track and how many are slow track. And then you can drop on the axis here. So you could see the count, and I can come here. I explain about the format pane, right? I can click here on the format pane. I can, let me do one quick thing here. Let me close the responsive. And then you could see the data labels currently is turned off. So I can turn on the data label so you can see the data labels. So I can change the color here. So let me make it white, and then let me make it inside and then let me change the size here. Okay. So this is how we did it. And then now if I want to cross filter, so let's say if I want to see only the non-IT science members, then I can click on this, and then Power BI will cross filter for me. So what information it's providing me is the non-IT science, they are targeting to have like a fast track, and this is the information what I have for them. So if I try to see it for the IT current members, so 2 of them are on a slow track and then 2 are on a fast track. And then if I want to see based on how many members are on a slow track, then I'll be able to see those members as well. And you could see it's highlighting here as well, and then changing the count of the members. This is one way of doing it. The other way to do it is we have the slicer pane here. I can click there, and then what I could do is I can add one slicer for current background. Either I can drag and drop or click it. So you could see I created the first slicer here, and then I can add another slicer. Again, clicking here on the slicer, and then I'm seeing slow or fast. And so you could see I can combine here. So I want to see the fast track members, those who belong to non-IT, and then it will give me the list here. And then I can clear the slicer selection. So I see this eraser icon here, and I can say I want to see the fast track members, those who belong to the non-IT. Then I get this list here. I'm sorry, I think I selected the same thing. So let's say if we want to see it for the non-ID signs. Okay, so is it clear or was it very fast? But I thought to give the very high level overview so that some people will be able to spend more time on it. But again, we can try to go more in detail from next classes.
It's very interesting. It's just a matter of us practicing it, I guess.
Yeah, it will be really helpful because you could see I can arrange this a lot. So let's say I can move this at the bottom and then align this better. So let's say I want to have these slices to the completely to the right, and then I want to have this table level information at the bottom here. And then I have charts that I want to cover in this area, and then my KPIs at the top. Then it will make your report very interesting. Yep, work on data which you could relate, and it will become more exciting. So you could see based on just the Excel data, what we generated, we are able to drive a lot of insights here. So this is how it will help the companies to drive the insights based on the data that they are collecting on a regular basis. All right, I think we are on time. Hopefully we did a good job. We utilized our 1 hour effectively. If you have any questions, you can post it in the group, but I will recommend go through the materials and all. Try to get an understanding of the terms we are using and then try to use those terms. Don't just practice, learn the terminology.
Okay, thank you, Mahmood bhai.
Yep,
Sure, Mahmood.
thank you, Prashant. All right,
Thank you. Thank you, Mahmood bhai.
right. Thank you.